Yeah.
Not particularly effective, and I don't expect him here. But it is interesting to note that he was actually played by one of the wildcard teams.
And Swain's a bit less of a playmaker. Never move is kind of hard to land because of the delay before the snare takes effect. I'd really like to see him on someone that does have a hard initiate.
We do see the first lock-in for paIN Gaming. They secure that Shen, so the split pushing power, the global pressure is there, is available, and Alan basically says, thank you very much. I'd like to repeat my game 1 performances on Jarvan, and he locks in the jungler.
After the Shen's locked in, you're immediately thinking, where's that combo for the invisible champion? Is it going to be Evelynn? Is it going to be Twitch? They take away the Twitch option. Very good first pick here for Gaming Gear. Because not only is it a very strong laning AD carry, but also you take away that combination of the sneak attack it's almost impossible to avoid.
Yeah, and also that Shen was banned out by Gaming Gear in the first game, so the fact that it was available is going to give paIN Gaming the chance to lock it in.
That's where that Orianna took his spot, so they easily switched that one now by being locked in. And it's my opinion that this comes from paIN's multiple scrims versus European LCS teams. They may have already had this one before coming over here, but I know RNA is a huge fan of that buy, and he makes it look pretty good.
So in terms of the two teams, paIN Gaming came out to Gamescom and to the SL Studios probably about a week and a half, I think maybe 2 weeks before the event, and they were scrimming absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
They played a lot against the Copenhagen Wolves. The Wolves have actually played basically every single one of these emerging region teams. And Gaming Gear did the same. However, it was a little easier for them because they didn't have to come and boot camp. The latency is not quite as bad playing from their hometown. So I know that there is some common denominators, and the Wolves came into this tournament and they were talking before and they said, watch out for Gaming Gear. This came from the Wolves, the winners of yesterday's Challenger Series final. And they reckon Gaming Gear are good.
And the other thing I like about that Vi pick right after the Twitch pick, she can 100% get to that Twitch, which is a huge threat in the back line. She's one of the few people that can get through a Renekton and get through a Jarvan fairly easily. And one of her biggest weaknesses, which is getting blown up after she gets to her target, is shored up by that Shen. They actually do have a nice combination. It's not an invisible champion, but she will be able to get Shen to where he wants to be to land the taunt after the knockup.
And you talked about how you liked Kami's Ahri, how you liked the charm, and this time around Kami has actually locked in that playmaking champion. That's a lot of mobility on the team. Not traditional mobility, but like you said, you're going to have that assault and battery. You're going to have the piggybacking Shen on the background, and if anybody's grouped up or sitting too close together, Sona's just going to completely lock them up and shut them down.
And another thing that's really big in EU is that Fizz counter to Ahri. A lot of people like running that into Ahri to be able to just 100% her towards the end game.
Yeah, and something that we have been seeing a number of bans actually in EU LCS because so many of our mid laners are practicing and playing Ahri. We're going to see Mazarin, who is arguably the biggest playmaker for Gaming Gear, on one of the biggest playmaking champions.
The thing is, Fizz, his ultimate is area of effect, but usually people have enough time to get away from it, so he's really going to be focusing on one person here, and it's not going to be him sucking 3 people in with a shockwave or making those giant Gragas ultimate plays that we've been used to seeing him. It's really going to be him making very good use of that playful trickster move to dodge Ahri's skill shots. That's one of the reasons why Fizz is so good against her. He can just jump up on the stick, avoid the combo that she throws out, and if he's not charmed up, then he'll have free reign to go all in.
Both of these teams have got very good synergies within their compositions. They've got good initiations, they've got good damage, they've got good kill potential. And I think the question is going to come down to whoever can land and combo their multiple abilities better should come out superior in this matchup, because there's a lot of lockdown, a lot of CC, a lot of damage. I don't see major flaws from either comp.
And this is much more up paIN Gaming's alley. They usually rely on those specific timings of comboing, those control effects, and they're the ones who actually have the mobility advantage because there's no teleport over here for Gaming Gear, and they're the ones running Shen. If they can get Shen off to a good start, then he'll be a very powerful split pusher. Well,
Surti definitely managed to help out picking up first blood in the top lane in the previous matchup in Brazil. Brazil's paIN Gaming will need to do something similar now if they want to keep their playoff dreams alive. paIN Gaming on the blue side, and we'll see how this early game plays out. The previous game was super defensive. Gaming Gear just littered the river with wards, nice and shallow, and were fully aware if paIN wanted to invade or get up to any monkey business.
And again, with the Shen there in the late game, if Venon does not get a very good early start, which let's be honest, he hasn't had those good early starts in any of the games, even if he gets those ganks from Sir T. So if he does get behind early, you can actually use Shen as a member of the 4 team with the 4-1 split push and send Ahri to the lane to split push because she's such a strong duelist. And then if your main squad of the team, the 4 players, can disengage, Shen can ult over to Ahri and kill whoever decides to go try and duel her. So even if you collapse on Ahri, they're able to stand united and turn most of their forces that way.
Well, nice to know that there's a little bit of fallback options available for paIN Gaming if the lanes don't go the way they want them to. Sir T is going to be on this Vi, and you have to feel that the early game impact that Vi has is not going to equal that of Alinier's job, and the ganks are a little more lackluster on the condition that taunts and charms, things like that, don't land.
The thing is, with Vi, your early ganks, you have to hit that vault breaker. Pretty much everything depends on that. If you miss the vault breaker, then you just have to give up on that gank. You don't want to keep running towards them or you're just going to take unnecessary damage.
Well, that's basically how this early game is going to play out. There's a lot of onus on paIN Gaming to make it out of this laning phase. We'll see how well Mazarine's Fizz can do. BRTT is going to get himself rooted up. Loses a tiny bit of HP. Does manage to get that Peacemaker down onto Inspiro.
Ooh, they get the ward, but it's very dangerous to invade on Zyra. We just saw how effective the root can be on 2 people, and they don't want any part of it.
Yeah, you did see there was basically just a vision exploration. It was also the Explorer ward that went down. So Espion's not going to have that available for him. I'm going to get the timing on Aliner securing blue buff and seeing where he's going away. Kind of an interesting move from paIN, because they didn't really gain a whole lot of information from that, other than basically confirming Aliner was doing blue.
They might have been expecting a 2 versus 1 swap here and thinking that they could have the man advantage. And that would have been the way that they would go on, but as soon as they saw it was actually them at the man disadvantage, then they didn't want to finish it up.
So we do see both of these teams going straight matchup. Top lane is in the top chunk, mid lane is in the mid, and dual lane is in that bottom lane. For the time being, it's NBS that's got himself a nice advantage, 10-1 as far as the CS is concerned, but Venom is dealing with a very big wave against his tower, and you see BRTT and Espion, they're heavily pushing this lane up. They're really making Deadly Brother work for all of those last hits.
And look at what they're doing. They're doing that without any more vision. Because of the ward up by blue buff no longer giving them any knowledge of Alinir's movements, they're just banking on the fact that he went from blue side to red side. Because they saw him start that blue.
Oh, barrier comes out. Deadly Brothers drop very, very low. Knight was actually not used. I thought I heard it. I was imagining things. And we do see Deadly Brother forced backwards. The range of BRTT just too difficult to deal with.
Sir T waiting here, and Renekton, NBS has been caught out before by starting up, but it's going to be a 2 versus 2, so it really depends if the taunt lands on only one. They'll probably use it early here.
Well, we'll have to see. Slice goes backwards, Bolt Break, it does land. That's a double knockup, but it was a double taunt as well. NBS is the first one to fall low. He flashes away. The dancing blows, breaks his armor. Ignite is ticking, red buff is ticking. One more hit is all they need. They're not going to be able to get it. A knockup onto Sir T. He gets taken down for first blood. Alinir applies the red buff stack onto Venom. They're chasing it down. NBS slices, he doesn't get the dice. The knockup throws Venom in the air. That's 2 kills for GamingGear. Lithuania take the lead in game 2.
That was terrible for paIN, and they almost had the first blood. Sir T, the reason that he kept chasing, that was not a mistake there. He wanted the 0.01 seconds more to get his excessive force back, which is the auto attack reset that increases your range. So even if he didn't get any closer, by activating that, he would have been able to get his auto attack off, but it came up just a split second too late, and that was the complete difference between life and death right there. A double kill, starting off amazing again here for GamingGear.
So Alinir, the playmaker, the captain of GamingGear.EU, coming out big in both of the games in this grand final, but GamingGear are heavily behind in this bottom lane. Deadly Brother is sitting on 11 CS to the 33 of BRTT, and that is an immense difference at this early stage in the game.
Can't get over that initial jungle there. That was there's a straight up 2 versus 2 that was so even. And we talked about how so much of these games between these two teams are going to depend on the success of the early jungle. This one, far and away, going to Alanir, even though it was so very close. Now he's level 5 and has double buffs. He can help out that mid lane before Ahri has her ultimate to get away.
Oh, we do see Playful Trickster lands the slowest on Kami. The red buff is there as well. Alien is looking for the knock-up, not even going to be needed. As Mazarine just throws himself in there with the Urchin Strike, and another great gank from Alanir.
This is Alanir we talked about. Once he gets the early lead, he snowballs the lane. He doesn't spend his time farming in the jungle. He comes to get his solos going.
And we do see a reactive call here from GamingGear, realizing that the pain that Deadly Brother was dealing with. They've swapped the AD carry to the top lane, and thanks to MBS's early extreme advantage. Oh, they're not done yet on BRTT. The Earth lands in, red buff slows, but unfortunately BRTT's under the tower. They don't continue the dive.
No knockup means that would be very dangerous to continue. But you're right, BRTT back on one of the AD carries he's more comfortable with. He has not lost any laning phase when he's not on that Ashe Zyra combo. So he's pretty much a lane bully no matter what he's on, and Deadly Brother just does not want to be in the same area.
So now there's all sorts of funny business happening here in these lanes. We can see that, first of all, the dual lane of paIN, they went middle, now they're going top. It looks like Shen's coming down. We'll have to see how things settle down, but both teams realizing, hey, we're at a bit of a disadvantage in certain situations, and they're trying to get the best for their team.
So this is the area that paIN are winning the game in, is the duo lane, and they want to press that advantage. So they're going to continue to seek out this Twitch Zyra with their Caitlyn Sona, and they'll follow the rotations that GamingGear make.
Well, we'll see how they end up. It does look like those bottom lane, the top lanes are going bottom. Yeah,
again, all in here. He's so sneaky with his ganks, making use of Jarvan's mobility. This is why they first pick him so often.
He does have Cataclysm available. There's no flash on Caitlyn. Gonna use that 90 caliber net in the not too distant future, and Alanir is just waiting for that one. The root goes out, doesn't manage to land. Slam dunk comes out from Alanir as the poison damage plus one last auto attack secures the kill. And Alanir does get away with a sliver of HP below 50. It's not over yet, as now all of a sudden Mazarine's in trouble. There's no assault and battery for Sir T. He's not level 6, and they can't lock him down.
Nice little run there for Mazarine. On the Fizz, Playful Trickster can get away from that one very easily, and NBS just going to be able to run Venon off here.
NBS is just being a complete bully. Between two towers, he's got that Dominus running, forcing Venom back. Venom's only sitting on that Doran shield and boots, and he's trying to deal with a Giant's Belt Renekton, who at 50% HP still has like 1,000 health. It's ridiculous.
He's definitely been making really good use of that Renekton. It's a common pick for them that we haven't seen focused by any of their opponents.
No, not yet. This will be the third time I believe that MBS has played Renekton during the course of the Wildcard qualifiers, and GamingGear, the 2,000 gold lead before 10 minutes. They've got kills on every single player with the exception of their support. They're in a very, very good position. However, they do need to make sure that Deadly Brother doesn't get shut down too significantly. Once we get to those team fights, they're really going to need his spray and pray damage to help clear out the rest of paIN.
This is another great adaptation by GamingGear because they already have their AD carry and support basically running from BRTT on that Caitlyn, and they're constantly rotating around the map. They've been able to sort of bait BRTT up to the top lane so that paIN have no presence on Dragon. And with that rotation, they can time it with the pink ward. They get a global objective from it. From a losing lane, they've actually gotten Dragon.
And we do see that Deadly Brothers trying to pick a fight here with Venom. If Inspiro gets the root, they may go in, but there's a lot of minions in the back line. A nice taunt there away from the root, and that just allows Venom to get out cleanly. Deadly Brother just continues trying to CS. So once again, GamingGear with the lane swaps. They really, really don't want to go head-to-head with BRTT. BRTT continues to extend that CS advantage, maintaining the 30 creep score lead.
Yeah, there's such smart moves from GamingGear, though. They realize they can't fight BRTT. He's too strong. So what they do is they move him. They trick him over to top lane and take advantage. Now they're going to have NBS just try and weather the storm here.
Well, he's doing pretty well. We see him managing to get the stun down. Dominance is up. He does have Ignites available. Espion's going to go low. Crescendo forced to use defensively, and NBS man modes that up 1v2.
Yeah, he can deal with that lane. He's fine with the duo here. What a great adaptation. He's going to even shove it up to the turret and go deep.
He's just going to put some more damage onto BRTT. Doesn't manage to land the stun. Unfortunately, BRTT is able to use the 90 caliber net. Gets away cleanly. Of course, at this point in time, NBS, he has got the massive CS advantage over Venom, and this is something that we have seen out of Venom over the course of this event. However, if that Stand United and Taunt does land, it's very impactful.
Yeah, so Venon's weak lane phase there, where he let NVS get extremely fed, is actually hurting BRTT now because they've actually had an option to switch that lane here. And now with Alanir up in the top lane, it's gotten fairly dangerous for that Caitlyn.
Unfortunately, the close range chum the waters not landing for Mazarine.
Some nice gymnastics though to land those last hits.
Yeah, he did manage to at least keep himself up in CS. We do see Venom getting a decent taunt chance at Deadly Brother. Deadly Brother takes 2 tower hits before they focus down the first tower of the second game in this final. And this is going to give GamingGear yet another gold advantage. Surti is sniffing around this top lane, but Alanir is reading him like a book. He's there too.
Alanir's been waiting so long, but look at the mid lane.
Mazarine
One
gets
more
away with his
spell.
life. The Spirit Rush not enough. Just
Very,
not
very
enough.
close. And that's Ari going to be able to bully him out of lane though. He's chucking the health potion, he wants to stick around. He's going to rely on dodging the next charm.
Well, man, we do see that Kami is running a little low on mana, so that also could play into his factors.
So it gives you a little bit of vision right when you place the trap. Even though Alanir was able to move off it, he realizes they know he's there.
No, it's not over yet, as now Inspro gets slammed into the ground. Spray and Pray has been activated for Deadly Brother. The knockup's going to come into place, but not enough attack damage just yet. The poison's ticking. The last shot did not manage to land on Surti, and I don't think the poison's going to be able to secure it. Deadly Brother just shy of securing himself a kill.
Saw the power there though. The line damage from a Twitch Zyra combo, almost enough to answer back a kill, and he's going to be able to have some alone time with the turret. Now, with Cammy coming to hunt him though, he has to back off.
Spirit Rush is not available, and Cammy's just going to defend that tower and at least play body blocker. Up in the top lane, we did see that NBS and Alanir were able to take down the second tower of the game, and GamingGear get themselves a very nice, comfortable position right now. With 12 minutes on the clock, the first item has been completed for Mazarine. He's gone for a Lich Bane. He doesn't need boots. Fish don't need boots, right?
Well, with Fizz having so much auto attacks in his combat phase, Lich Bane is a really good rush for him. He's also going to be able to hit turrets much harder, which they've already taken 2 of the outer turrets, and the mid is the only one left standing. So it helps him in both the assassination attempts and the building destruction.
And all of the lane swapping is really working out in favor of GamingGear. All of a sudden, Deadly Brother is only 20 CS behind. He's got a kill, he's got a bunch of gold from these towers to fall back on, and that dragon. And of course, that means now that GamingGear in this power play are now contesting paIN Gaming's blue buff. It has respawned the second time. GamingGear have all of their team here.
GamingGear clears out the ward there too, so this is very dangerous for paIN to answer. Even though they do have Stand United available, so it could have been a 5 vs 5. Venturing into the jungle without that vision would be so dangerous at this point. Zyra very, very strong in those small corridors. She could lock up multiple people.
So paIN decides to give that one up. They walk away cleanly. GamingGear with a buff control now on that blue, with vision control on that side of the map as well. You've got to feel that with the way they're playing, they're probably going to contest the next one. And do you see that GamingGear sort of splits up a little bit, still trying to buy time for Deadly Brother to farm.
And blue buffs are really important for this paIN team, not only for Ari, but also Vi. Whenever Vi can get a stray blue buff, it helps her out so much. Cooldown reduction on her is one of the best ways to apply more denting blows. It's even more efficient than attack speed because her spells apply at 2, and that's where a lot of her damage comes from, is the third stack of that denting blows to get that max health percentage.
Well, we'll see how well Surti can affect this mid-game phase. If they do that little piggyback combo of Shen and Vi, they could focus down the target, as now Venom is in a lot of trouble. Mazarine does manage to taunt to the side, get taunted to the side, and that means the
he's going to continue.
Going to carry on chasing. A flash over the wall. This is Mazarine chasing. The Playful Trickster does not land. Ignite was already used. The damage over time should be enough to close it out. Mazarine just runs him down, picking up the 5th kill of the game.
So no, Fish do not need boots. He was able to chase him down to swimming there. And you get 5% move speed for Lich Bane, so it's got a little bit of extra movement, but mostly it was the dashes from Fizz. The assassination kit right there. This is what is the problem with a Shen that doesn't have that good early game. Why I talked about him rather going with the rest of the team at that point and not being the solo split pusher, because you could just send an assassin over there to kill him. That's how you usually want to deal with global ultimates, is you go right to the source of the global and take him out before they're able to use it.
Well, Shen has respawned. He's coming from the fountain, does have Stand United available, but BRTT is a 1.5 miles away. There's no ways that paIN Gaming can put together a group of team members to contest that dragon, and that means GamingGear secure the second dragon of the game. It does look like they're trying to move towards this mid lane, and if paIN stick around too long, they could be jumped on.
PRTT is doing his best to keep paIN in this game right now, though. He's getting global objectives. Now he's jumped on by the beast that is NBS.
So Stand United comes out. Once Shen lands, he's not going to be able to get in range for the taunt. But Stand United is down, and trading a Dominus for Stand United, that is a fair trade any day of the week.
And they saved the life of BRTT too, which is the hope of paIN right now.
0-1-0 on that Caitlyn. Got 143 CS. He's tied with Mazarin, as we do see that Kami dives himself forward. That is Spirit Rush used. The Sultan Battery slammed Mazarin into the ground. The Playful Trickster was already blown. Chum the Watchers is available, and you see that GamingGear are just focusing down Surtees. He's survived a while as that spray and pray is going across everybody. Once again, Chum the Waters does not land. That's 0-3 as far as Mazarin is concerned. Now that NBS is waiting in the wings, if he can get a stun down, maybe enough damage.
That was a great Stranglethorn by Inspirion, though.
Now we do see that NBS does get a stun into SP on the tower, is still standing, and Spyro does manage to back away. No root landing just yet, and GamingGear, they tried to pick a fight, but very good disengage from paIN.
Both teams are going to back off because they used too many cooldowns there. You can see all the ultimates ticking. And even though GamingGear are ahead in gold right now, they have to keep up their vision with all of those wards in order to continue to take the dragons and the global objectives. They put a really high priority on both dragons right now and that blue buff that we talked about earlier.
So we see Kami maybe feeling the pressure, maybe feeling the pinch right now. He's picked himself up a second blasting wand. So Sorcerer's Shoes, double blasting wand. If I think back, I recall Alexic had 2 or 3 blasting wands on his Karthus, and I guess cost efficiency works out, but it does slow down your mid-game build.
I feel like that was just a shout-out to the 3 Doran's Ring Karma. Here we go, Mazarin does get caught now.
We do see Chum the Waters lands. It's going to keep Venom off, and Surtees going to carry on the chase. One more denting blows may have been enough, but Mazarin, he just walks away from that one with just those tier 1 boots. And even 2v1, they don't have enough to manage to pick up that kill.
They have lost control of this turret, though. paIN don't want to overextend here and get that objective back.
So we'll have to see how well paIN can back away. They have just ran a mile away. Surtee at the moment, not super beefy, not super tanky. Over on the other side of GamingGear, you can see that the Sunfire Cape was NBS's first item. Lich Bane secured from Mazarin, as we talked about. Nearly large rod in the background. So we'll see where he wants to go with that. If he's going to go for the likes of a Deathfire Grass, could even go for that Zhonya's Hourglass. The world is his oyster.
He really needs something there. A Deathfire Grass would be the option for them to actually take out a target. Right now, paIN, their composition, they were built to have control of all lanes here and be able to split push. But since they're so far behind, they can't really get outside of their turrets, and that's why they're having a lot of trouble here.
Alinio's main got himself really, really deep. Going to be forced to try to get himself out here. He should be able to do so, pulling himself, and that means the body block is actually not going to be enough. Kami secures the second kill of the game there for paIN. A little bit awkward, and Alinio just biting off more than he should. GamingGear wanted blue buff, and paIN were ready for it.
So they did really want that second blue buff, but paIN did a great job there of collapsing. And it was all about Surtees not hesitating to go offensive. They got a lot of damage done to Alinir, while the rest of GamingGear were still walking through the forest. So it was effectively a 3-to-1 advantage there for the first 5 seconds of that jungle fight for paIN.
So Inspiro and Deadly Brother put a little bit of damage under this mid tower before they back away. They don't get caught out. It is still 2 towers to 1 as Mazarin's arguably doing a little bit of a better split push right now than the members of paIN Gaming, but that is a testament to that very weak laning phase as far as paIN is concerned. We do see that BRTT has that Infinity Edge completed as well as a Vampiric Scepter, so any of these fights, he's going to be laying down a lot of damage if any of those critical hits do land. And most of GamingGear, Mazarin, Deadly Brother, and Inspiro, they're actually very squishy targets if Caitlyn can get onto them. That's the key.
So that means that the crescendo is going to be that much more crucial for paIN, because they can set that one, you can either chain that with a taunt, either of those can go first. He's got flash ready in another 30 seconds. So if they're able to get both of those comboed on that very tricky Fizz to pin down and the Twitch, then it will turn really well for them.
The GamingGear content to just maintain control of these lanes. You can see that Mazarin is hanging out in this bush, just waiting to see if he can jump on anybody. Venom has been able to pick up and Sunfire Cape, as well as a Negatron Cloak.
Mazarin only has one ward for his split pushing antics that he's trying to do down here, and it's very deep. So he doesn't have knowledge that BRTT has snuck into this lane side, and they're gonna try and bait Mazarin's spells out so that they can capitalize, and Shen will follow them up, lock him down with a taunt.
And unfortunately, paIN Gaming lose their mid tower because BRTT was a mile away trying to pull off this little gank. Now all of a sudden Gaming Gear are putting themselves towards this bottom lane. BRTT was spotted out there by Mazarin. Alinia once again biting off a little bit more than maybe he can chew. However, this time around, working out for them. Deadly Brothers Spray and Pray is down. It is not available. You can see that Venom trying to set himself up for a taunt. There goes Surti. They slam Deadly Brother into the ground. Crescendo locks up members of Gaming Gear, and without Deadly Brother's damage, this may be a good fight for paIN. Can Mazarin pick up the kills? This is the question. Earth goes wide, doesn't manage to nom on anybody. 2 kills landing for paIN. They're not done yet. A flash forward for BRTT. He gets the red buff slow onto NBS. The minions are doing a little bit of damage, but NBS should be able to survive. Culvermeek gives him a bit of HP, and another team fight victory for paIN.
This is the paIN that we're used to seeing. Talked about it yesterday. They punish you for mispositioning, and they don't hesitate right there, jumping on Alanir once again, catching them in the jungle as they try to retreat.
The 5 members of paIN now start stacking up on this mid lane. They all look to secure the second tower of the game, and it's that all-important middle tower that's going to allow paIN to move around the jungle from Gaming Gear a little more openly, and even better for paIN Gaming. The dragons just respawned. Thanks to having a numbers advantage, he's going to be able to start this one off, but it does look like Mazarin and Inspro want to challenge. There's no Stranglethorns available. Nobody gets rooted up, but Mazarin just hasn't dissuaded him. Put a little bit of damage down onto Venom. Good charm onto Inspro means no follow-up spell costs. It's not over yet. Mazarin's continuing the chase. Chum the Water's available soon. A couple of seconds left before he can throw out that giant fish. Does manage to land, and it hits one of the most important targets. BRTT forced to use that barrier. Play falls up. Trickster's down. Doesn't get too much damage. BRTT finally drops in the background. That is a double kill for Kami in this fight, but 2 kills secured in favor of Deadly Brother. A 2-for-2 trade. Kami is running with all 9 tails between his legs. He should be able to be taken out here by Gaming Gear. They got Dragon, but they've given up 3 kills.
He is going to have to run through this turret, and Jarvan's already got the hit.
Yeah, definitely going to get taken down. Tower hits are going to drop him out. Deadly Brother going to be able to pick up that last hit to 3 of his kills in this last trade.
So that was back-to-back AD carries getting caught out. In the first round, inside the jungle, it was paIN locking up Deadly Brother and killing him before that fight even started. But in the chase here, we actually had BRTT catching that Mazarin ult.
So you do see now that Gaming Gear, we're going to be able to pick up this inner bottom lane tower. And I guess if you look at the macro picture, if you step back and look at everything that's happened, Gaming Gear still maintain that gold lead. They still maintain the tower lead, and they got an inner tower down as well.
paIN really just wanted to get 2 objectives out of that team fight win rather than taking the tower and going home. Stayed a little bit too long at the dragon, but it was so close right there, and that was really just from the tenacious chase that Gaming Gear pulled off. They were able to answer.
All of a sudden, paIN Gaming now realize that this bottom tower may be an option. You do see that Gaming is trying to respond as best as they can. Mazarin is nowhere to be seen. He's not going to be involved in this defense. And a good counterplay from paIN, really, realizing and noticing it. Gaming Gear couldn't defend that one up, and they secure it just with sheer force of numbers.
So we have Gaming Gear here continuing to send Mazarin as their split pusher. Yes, he is an extremely strong duelist, but he has no way to join the rest of the team. So it's just up to the rest of Gaming Gear to clear waves and delay this paIN team while they allow Mazarin his free time up in that top lane.
He's got himself up to 214 CS, working closer and closer towards that Zhonya's Hourglass. You see that Deadly Brother as well as Alinia and NBS have now moved themselves to this blue buff. This is 2 of 3 blue buffs that have been contested. 2 of them that have actually been secured in favor of Mazarin. So Gaming Gear definitely
sticking around
not
here though.
Knock anybody out. So he does get the Vault Breaker off, dashes out of the way and doesn't get knocked out.
Gaming Gear really have to be careful. They have not had good luck inside the jungle. paIN have just played around the terrain so much better in those small corridors and the passages, just making use of Ahri's dashes to not get focused, and the crescendo from Sona locking up multiple people. Gaming Gear really have to watch their positioning in the next fight.
Oh, very nice charm. Does land to Alinia, but he blocks up a good chunk of that damage thanks to that Golden Aegis. We do see that paIN Gaming, remember, they are 1-0 down. If they lose this game, they place second They do not get to go to Los Angeles to compete at the playoffs. GamingGear, on the other hand, if they close this out, they do earn that spot. Way too early in this matchup to be calling who's going to be victorious, though. There's only one tower that separates them, only 3,000 gold. And at this point in time, both teams have made good plays and they've been caught as well. So the key may come down to all that vision that we've been talking about so much. And, you know, paIN, they set up that previous team fight in the jungle that led to mid and Dragon, thanks to that ring of vision and ring of wards.
And really, those have been the two spots where paIN have got back into this, is catching out GamingGear in the jungle deeper than their vision provides them safety to do. So if they can continue to keep up vision just in their own jungle here, paIN can continue to make those plays and get the picks that they want. As long as Deadly Brother's out of position like that, they can freely focus him and then turn the rest of the team fight here. Meanwhile, though, Mazarin is working towards Zanya's hourglass. So when he does dive in, it's going to be very hard to land that crowd control and stick him in one place.
Well, another power spike has just been reached. The Deadly Brothers locked in that Infinity Edge into his back pocket. Going to be firing out some Infinity Edge Blade of the Rune King bolts from that crossbow, and he's a full item ahead of BRTT at this point in time. All 4 kills, multiple towers, and Dragon's obviously helping him out in that regard. And I guess if paIN Gaming stack up, if they group up in a line, Spray and Pray is going to shred through them. paIN looking to set something up. Kami hanging around on the side. If a charm lands, he might dive in here.
So Deadly Brothers power. Oh, here we go. We have it.
Surti's committed, Stantonite is available, Mazarin's nowhere near. They managed to slam Deadly Brother down. Surti is going to flash forward. Shen has arrived, but that's a stealth up twitch. Now we see NBS in the backline. He's ripping through Kami. A 3-man crescendo continues to lock up members of GamingGear. Is now all of a sudden Venom is forced out of the fight. Nobody has died yet, but here comes Mazarin. Chum the Waters flashed away from damage, still lands onto Surti and Espion. They managed to pick up the first kill of the fight. Surti started that a year ago and finally goes down.
BRTT not able to get off the damage from the backline because of the pressure that was put off. Wow, Deadly Brother avoided a Vi that got Stand United, and he also took the ace in the hole from Caitlyn, so he was still able to survive all that and then lifesteal it all the way back up to full health, enabling him to take the Baron.
Mazarin just jumps over the wall, picks up a kill onto Espion, and now this is a 2-man potential defense. Baron has been peeled away. Deadly Brother wants to jump on somebody.
He's shooting a ward!
He manages to get caught out. Attack move, drops the ward down. This is a kill onto Deadly Brother. The reply onto Mazarin as well. Baron is prevented. An attack move biting him in the butt.
Deadly Brother comes out of stealth right next to BRTT and shoots the ward first. That is that attack move that a lot of AD carries use.
That is heartbreaking.
Shooting whatever next to you.
So we do see now that GamingGear, all of a sudden, they win a team fight. Well, they got 1 kill. Then they give up 2. They lose the potential Baron as well. And they lose the inner mid turret. paIN Gaming maintain that very small gold lead. And it's just a matter of plays and counter plays that's coming up between these two teams.
So it wasn't a tower dive this time that you're talking about with GamingGear overextending, but they got very deep into the Baron pit with all of the tanks very low HP, which forced Twitch to be the one trying to tank it. And he actually, that will reduce his damage to Baron, so it makes it take a very long time for them to actually take it. They weren't able to finish it off, and even when they turned around, that slight auto attack misplay there cost them.
So GamingGear right now secure themselves yet another dragon. They hold on to a very, very small lead, and at this point in time, GamingGear, they've not actually grouped up to push towers at all. They've not grouped up to push the lanes down. They seem to be content sitting back and farming a little bit. And you know, the later this game goes, you can see the differences in the compositions, but how did GamingGear actually turn this comp of theirs into a sieging team? It's very difficult to sit on a tower when you've got a Vi, a charm, and a potential taunt that could lock you up.
There's so much engaged there from paIN that it is very dangerous. And GamingGear, they've had no success, or not a lot of success with those turret dives when they don't start them out with something like a shockwave from Mazarin. They don't actually have that option here. If Chum the Waters doesn't hit, which it has been missing quite often, then they really don't have another option to follow up and go in on that.
Well, we'll have to see if Mazarin can land them when they count. Much like Blitzcrank, it doesn't matter how many hooks you miss, it's the one that wins you the game that really counts. And And right now, that's what Mazrin's looking to do. He's got himself that Void Staff completed as well. So a very, very good chunk of ability power. Good stacking here of GamingGear towards the Baron Pit. There is no NBS though. So Inspiro is clearing up the vision. They know that they have vision control. And they might be waiting for paIN Gaming to check this one.
That's exactly what they're doing. And paIN having oracles, they're going to slowly clear out the vision, but they can't get around to that so-called banana bush without putting themselves in danger. And with BRTT down there with Shen, they don't want to take their chances going to Baron here. This is them basically daring GamingGear to actually go for the Baron and just calling their bluff.
Yeah, paIN Gaming's definitely calling a bluff, yeah, and they know that this bush is safe. However, they've just stepped on top of Ward. Boltbreaker being charged. Surti slams into Alinia. NBS is going to be coming in from the backside. Alinia gets charmed up as he throws himself forward. Cataclysm goes down. We're going to split the fight on two fronts. Alinia, the first one to fall to Espeon. Now in the backline, we see that Kami has been dropped. We see Deadly Brother, the key member of GamingGear, is killed. They focus him down, but NBS is shredding through everybody. Dominus is tearing them apart. NBS is sticking to BRTT like glue. Sunfire Cape is going to set him on fire. They managed to pick up the kill. They've traded 4 for 4, and now Sona is not going to be happy. Flashes over the wall as NBS continues the chase. They kill everyone. NBS should be able to close this one out. A 5 for 4 at the end of the day.
Oh, it's not the end of the day yet!
Espeon carries on running. Blue buff isn't going to be enough, and NBS secures the kill. The split on two fronts, working for both teams, and NBS stands supreme.
Yeah, and that fed Crocodile comes back to bite them in the ass this time. That's the difference between the laning phase at the very beginning. Shen didn't have quite enough power there. You can see Deadly Brother, again, the victim of the Vi, Stand United, plus Kami spirit rushing towards him. They were able to take out Deadly Brother, but he was shooting back the whole time and took down Kami at the same time.
So the burst damage coming out of Deadly Brother was enough to at least help turn the tide of that fight in their favor. But what we are seeing from both of these teams is that NBS and Alinia basically peace out for Mazrin and Deadly Brother and try to focus down the carries in the exact same situation for paIN. So you end up having these 80 carries begging and screaming and kicking, saying, why does everyone hate me?
This is, when you're in Deadly Brother's position, it's a very frustrating game to play. And you can see that now he's thinking about his defensive option. After those two items, you know, he has his attack speed and he has his crits from Infinity Edge. Now he really needs an answer for this combo. Banshee's Veil is a really good option because Vi's Vault Breaker. Oh, here we go, Vi's in trouble.
Oh, we do see him getting caught out. That's 3 members of GamingGear. He's going to flash over the wall. We do see an insta-flash there from Alinia, and we actually see the Assault and Battery trying to be used to get back. Not going to work this time.
That is the only way you can stop an Assault and Battery, is take Vi down before she's going to be able to complete it here. But with no smite, they have a really, really good chance at finishing this Baron off. And it looks like paIN don't even want to answer. They're going to try and just shove the lane instead, but they don't have enough time.
No, there's not enough time at all, and that's a lot of HP sitting on the side of GamingGear. They're going to try to respond to this one. We'll see if they want to chase anybody down. Inspiro, with those boots of mobility, along with Alinia, they can really clear a lot of distance very, very quickly. And it definitely signals an intention to defend against split push when you've got the Ari and the Shen. You know, if you can run to the lanes really quickly, it helps you out a lot.
Exactly. That was a huge win for GamingGear, but they have yet to break in to that very difficult turret line around the inhibitors. If once you do that, then they actually have an opening. But their team, we've been over, it's difficult to dive. So the reason that, that's the reason that Renekton's now started stacking that armor. He's got a Randuin's on top of his Sunfire Cape, and they're going to be looking for him to tank up turrets shots while they slowly chip it down. With this Baron buff, they will have the regen to take a few tower shots and then try and back out as paIN engage with the Vi and Shen combo.
And that paIN engage has been weakened a little bit by the fact that Deadly Brother has picked himself up at Banshee's Veil. We see now that GamingGear are trying to move around this map. They're putting vision down.
Deadly Brother's not with them!
They're gonna jump in there. The Assault and Battery doesn't manage to land. Surti's not gonna be able to lock up Mazarine. Now the Stranglethorn throws up multiple members of paIN. NBS once again in the middle of the fight. The Dominus is tearing through everybody. Crescendo locks up the back line. Now we'll see Deadly Brother slowly making his way forward as Alina is the first victim of the fight. Chum the Waters throws up Venom in the air. Spray and pray targeted directly at BRTT. Expunge gets used. It's actually a double kill for Mazarine. At the end of the day, they trade 2 for 2, 2 for 1. And well played by GamingGear to pull that back.
Those quick reactions from Mazarin right there. The assault battery used before Deadly Brother's there, so when he arrives, he's free to just open fire. He comes out, gets off enough spray and spray auto attacks to clean that one up, and they continue to roll this one in.
In terms of the decision to stick that on, that was a Zonya's Hourglass Mazarin.
Yeah.
So he has multiple ways to escape it.
He actually could have just slammed his fist into the keyboard and hit one of the two abilities to avoid that.
Does manage to pick a little bit more of a delicate approach. Throws out that playful tricks. They even got the slow and the damage down as well. And GamingGear pick up their 5th tower of the game. They pick up another Dragon at the 36-minute mark. That's their 4th of this particular matchup. And they maintain a fairly small gold lead, but the main thing is that paIN Gaming's initiation, there are so many ways around it. You know, Surti, he can't lock up Mazarin. He can't openly jump on Deadly Brother. They need to land a spell first, and then he can go in. So how do paIN Gaming pick team fights now?
They're going to hope for an ace in the hole with a clear line to Deadly Brother, because that's one of the longest range spells that they could take off the Banshee's Veil with first. Barring that, it's going to be up to Cammy to use his mobility to get around and take that one off with his spell combo, because that assault battery is such a huge part of the team fight for paIN. We saw already, every time he doesn't get that off onto Deadly Brother, they lose, because he has so much damage right now, and with the Banshee's Veil, he also has a secondary line of protection.
Well, we'll see how effectively paIN can make that work for them. We are getting closer and closer to those inhibitor turrets. That is what GamingGear has been looking for. Deadly Brother now pushing out this top wave. He's still 60 CS behind that of BRTT, but thanks to all the global objectives, he's sitting pretty as far as his items are concerned. Mazarin also grabbed himself a Guardian Angel.
At this point, I think paIN actually may be changing their playstyle because they're so far behind. They're going to wait for GamingGear to make the dive and use their abilities to actually peel for BRTT instead of dive Twitch. Deadly Brother with that Banshee's Veil is a very difficult target. Unless they somehow get that off before the fight starts, they may just be using the Shen and the Vi to peel for Caitlyn instead of diving in.
Well, this is the most difficult task for any team in League of Legends, is breaking that inhibitor turret and getting that first inhibitor down. Once that's done, everything else becomes all that much easier. And you got to remember that in that very tight, narrow corridor, Crescendo is going to be super, super impactful. I think Baron buff just worn out. My eyes did not deceive me. That means GamingGear, they may even stall out for another Baron. They've got a lot of vision in this top half of the map. They may just wait for that and try to pull paIN towards them, or try to secure Baron before sieging up.
Yeah, so we'll have a couple minutes here to go over, because that's really the best option for GamingGear, is to pull paIN out away from those turrets. Like I said, if paIN actually decide to switch up their playstyle and instead peel for Caitlyn instead of trying to dive now that the Banshee's Veil is there, they have a really good shot of turning that team fight, even though they're behind that 8k gold, with the added damage of a turret and the GamingGear overextending themselves trying to be the ones aggressive. They could easily still win a team fight as long as they effectively chain the Crescendo and taunt as peel for BRTT.
Communication is going to be key in these fights. They cannot afford to waste those abilities or stack them without chaining them back to back, and we'll see whether or not paIN can make that work for them. I'm going to talk about Inspro's build here. He's got himself that Ruby Crystal, sitting on a Philosopher's Stone for a while. He's got a Haunting Guys as well, and we've actually seen support Zyra's building a fair amount of ability power over the course of the weekend. I know Immunity's support yesterday, Rosie, also built a ton in their exciting, unique team comp.
Yeah, she's definitely one that benefits greatly from those ability power and sort of mid-item, because she is a viable mid-mage. A lot of people end up building her that way.
Ainda bem que ele fez isso, não fechou
Falta minuto pro Baron.
I like support. If I'm not playing AD carry, I play support too. So we do see now that the Baron will be respawning in 40 seconds. So GamingGear refreshing their vision, more importantly clearing out the wards of paIN, so that they know, they think they know, they've got vision superiority, and everywhere that they've walked, they're pretty confident and comfortable on that one. Waiting for paIN Gaming to push towards them, waiting for paIN to arrive, and then GamingGear hoping to spring a surprise carnival on the Brazilian team.
I think that the the best option for paIN is to not attend Carnival this year and just stay inside of their base. It's one of those stay-at-home movie nights for paIN right now.
Well, we'll see if they agree with the decision, because right now they're a little bit split up. Here comes GamingGear. The question is, can crowd control land? Banshee's Veil is available for BRTT, and Venom has actually rejoined the team. They're not comfortable with the idea of using that Stand United to join in. We do see Surtees actually thrown himself forward, gets one of those excessive force shots down onto Alenia's Jarvan. And it's very, very tense. MBS looking for a way in. Now the charm is out. We do see Dominance has been popped. The Banshee's Bell from BRTT is down. The backline is once again split. MBS instantly peeled backwards. Venom is forced out of the fight. Stand United still available. Who is the target going to be on? Surtees slams Mazarin down into the ground, but he's dropped by Deadly Brother. That's a 3-man crescendo that locks up multiple members of GamingGear. They picked up 1 kill, and now GamingGear continue the chase. A flash forward from Mazarin as Venom is pulling them to the side. Playful Trickster to close the gap, and as Mazarin should be able to chase this one down. Man, some auto attacks down. He's going to be able to close it out with that Urchin Strike, and he's actually going to use Playful Trickster just before the taunt comes in. A 2-for-0. GamingGear another team fight win.
Yeah, paIN should have stayed home for that one. That was exactly what GamingGear wanted. A fight out in the open, and they're going to get another one.
And we do see MBS is going to carry on chasing. There's the Urchin Strike on Takami. Now all of a sudden BRTT's in trouble. GA is still available. Blade of the Rune King slows BRTT down, and you see Mazarin with the last hit. Now Alien is looking to set something up. He lands the Cataclysm. There's no flash. There's no Spirit Rush. Kami gets rooted in place, and once again Mazarin lands. He's slowly getting his mana back, but going to need to buy a couple of seconds time before that blue buff will allow him to spam out those spells. GamingGear, a little undecided. They decide to go for Baron right now as opposed to the tower.
So they don't have a minion line there, and turrets get bonus armor when you don't have minions in the vicinity. So they're actually going to take the Baron and then go try and clear out the minion waves that have been pushed up to both the top and bottom lanes of their base.
So paIN Gaming with one more lifeline. They are 12,000 gold behind. Baron goes down there, very far away behind his gold. Look at the numbers at the bottom of your screen. 4,000 difference in that mid lane. Top lane sitting at 3,500, 2,500 in the jungle. In GamingGear, with the second Baron of the game, with a very strong power position, now have to find a way to convert that to inhibitors and to the Nexus. Because they have not made a single play for it yet. They've sort of been looking, and I think now is the time where they need to start focusing. Unless they give paIN all the time, they need to farm themselves back into this game.
Well, paIN have done the first step here, go grab the other objective. They knew that GamingGear had just taken Baron and gone back to buy, so 30 at least gets the consolation prize Dragon there. A little bit of gold will go a long way for them. Now, they do have to set up that Alamo strategy and just stay inside of their inhibitor turrets. Play defensively for the dive of GamingGear, because now that GamingGear have Baron buff, that gives them the confidence to finally go for a turret dive. Renekton with another chain vest on top of that, and even a cloth armor, just trying to get any scrap of armor he can get his hands on to go for the turret dive. He'll be the one that they want to get in there first to start tanking it off, and it's going to be extremely hard for paIN to take down Mazarin, because not only does he have that Zanya's Hourglass, but he also has the Guardian Angel, and the blue buff will lower the cooldown on his Playful Trickster, which makes it just so slippery.
Yeah, almost impossible to manage to lock him down long enough to kill him, and we'll have to see how paIN will react to this. The crescendos has been
Oh no, they're so far out of the base.
Oh, we do see now Mazarin gets taunted up. The Chumba Waters lands. Kami's in the background. They're trying to focus Deadly Brother. There's a lot of damage on Kami, even more on Mazarin. Mazarin manages to use that Zanya's Hourglass to stay alive. A taunt goes down, but it's not going to be enough to save his life. Now Venom is the focus of Deadly Brother. We see Surtees is dropped, as is Kami. Alenia and NBS are in the back line. This could be the game-winning fight as Mazarin continues to chase him down. BRTT is going to get dropped by NBS. They pick up yet another kill. A clean ace for GamingGear. There's massive death timers on the clock and so much armor. This could be Lithuania going to Los Angeles, going to the World Playoffs.
Great play here from GamingGear, but that was just paIN not staying inside their base again. They wanted to go for the bush gank and catch someone off in a 5-to-1 advantage, but only works if GamingGear split up. And they played it true, stayed together, and they